Be the guy who embraces the ugly, the miserable. Be the guy who embraces hard work, the grind. Don't be afraid of being hurt. Don't be afraid of sacrificing some blood.
Why be normal when you can be the best? I don't want to be normal. I want to make the difference. So everything I do, I want to make the difference. Because when I make the difference, I'm the best. And that is not arrogance, that is confidence for me.
The bottom line is, no one's coming. No one. No one's coming to push you. No one's coming to tell you to turn the TV off. No one's coming to tell you to get out the door and exercise. Nobody's coming to tell you to apply for that job that you've always dreamt about. Nobody's coming to write the business plan for you. It's up to you. And because you're only ever going to do the things that you feel like doing right now or that feel good right now, unless you understand that you've got to parent yourself, you got to push yourself, you're not going to make your dreams come true. You're just not. We're not wired that way. You weren't born that way. You weren't that way when you were growing up, and you're certainly not that way as an adult.
The thing is with me is I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit what anybody says or what anybody thinks. I have this mindset. I know exactly who the fuck I am. I have my circle of people that I hang around with who know me and know what I'm about and whatever. And anybody else who doesn't like it or doesn't want it, too bad. Okay. Find out who's with you and who's not when the shit hits the fan.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I say this all the time. It happened with me and my employees during COVID, right? During COVID, they're laying people off and whatever. We didn't fucking lay anybody off.
Everything you're going through is preparing you for what you ask God for.
Yeah.
In front of that arena.
You know, if you have a clear picture in your head of something is going to happen, and a clear belief in that it will happen no matter what, then nothing can stop it. You know what I mean? It is destined to happen, and that's what happens. You know what I mean? It's perfect.
You really focused on practice. Tell us what you brought to practice and how you sort of made that standard for the rest of your team.
Well, I mean, here's why practice was important to me. Not from just the standpoint that I enjoyed playing. Like, I enjoyed being there. I enjoyed getting better. But as a leader of a team, it's also your responsibility to elevate the rest of the guys. And what people tend to get stuck on a lot is saying, okay, the way to make players better is to pass them the ball when they're open. That's a very trivial way to look at things. What you have to do is you have to get them emotionally to want to be better. You have to get them to an emotional space where they wake up every morning driven to be the best version of themselves, right? And how do you do that? And in practice, for me, it was a chance to drive them, to challenge them, right? And this is where you have to know your teammates, because if it's late, we just had a back-to-back and we had practice the next day and you show up and guys don't feel like going through the motions, don't feel like practicing. It's important to know each and every one of them individually, personally, because then you know what nerve to touch.
Don't half-ass it. Don't half-ass it. Boy, that never goes out of style, does it? I mean, think about it. If you're gonna do something, if you've chosen to do something, whatever it is, easy, hard, if you give it your all and you don't half-ass it, win, lose, draw, get what you want, don't get what you want, whatever the outcome is, if you don't half-ass it, at least you're not gonna have to wonder, oh, would the outcome have been different? What if I did give it my all? And boy, wondering that is what keeps us up at night.
You've got to want it as bad as you want to breathe. And if you want it that bad, if you're willing to give it that much, you get a big piece of what you want.
Yeah, everybody's the best of their game.
They're all crazy.
They're all crazy, no matter what you do. Madness and genius are next door neighbors and they borrow each other's sugar. Because you gotta abandon personal relationships, you gotta be totally unbalanced, completely obsessed and focused upon your goal.
I think that the world is made up of people with either killer instincts or without killer instincts, and the people that seem to emerge all the time, it doesn't mean they're the best people, and it doesn't mean they're the happiest people, and in fact in many cases, and in most cases they're probably not, but the people that seem to emerge are the people that are competitive and driven and with a certain instinct to win.
But you want to be the one that says, fuck it, I'm going to do it anyway. I know I don't feel good today, but I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna prove to myself that even on days that it doesn't feel right, I push myself. The only way to gain confidence in yourself is to build something. It's not to wait for it to happen.
The bad days create the story that I'm one day going to tell myself about what I got through. Without the bad days, the story would be way more lame. There would be no glory in overcoming anything, because what did you overcome?
We're not men because we face the battle and we get immediately victory every time a battle comes up. We're men because we face the battle and we stay in the battle when we feel like we're losing and we feel like we're getting beat up. But we stay in there and we keep fighting and we plant our feet and we say, until death do I part. This is me, and I will fight this battle, regardless of what the battle is.
My soul is not contained within the limits of my body. My body is contained within the limitlessness of my soul. One unified field. One unified field of nothing, dancing for no particular reason, except maybe to comfort and entertain itself. And as that shift happens in you, you won't be feeling the world, you'll be felt by it. You'll be embraced by it. Now I'm always at the beginning. I have a reset button, and I ride that button constantly. Once that button is functioning in your life, there's no story that the mind could create that will be as compelling. The imagination is always manufacturing scenarios, both good and bad, and the ego tries to keep you trapped in the multiplex of the mind. Our eyes are not viewers, they're also projectors that are running a second story over the picture that we see in front of us all the time. Fear is writing that script, and the working title is, I'll Never Be Enough. And you're gonna look at a person like me and say, how could we ever hope to reach those kind of heights, Jim? How can we make a painting that's too big for our home? How do you fly so high without a special breathing apparatus? This is the voice of the ego. And if you listen to it, there will always be someone who is doing better than you. No matter what you gain, ego will not let you rest. It will tell you that you cannot stop until you've left an indelible mark on the earth, until you've achieved immortality. How tricky is this ego that it would tempt us with the promise of something we already possess?
While we wait for life, life passes. When you understand that your days are counted, that your days are limited, you begin to work with urgency towards your goals. You begin to work with urgency towards the things that you want in life. People say, well, I'll start tomorrow, or I'll get started when the new year hits. It doesn't work that way. Life passes you by with no urgency, but day by day. And so many people live and wake up like accidents that they forget this beautiful principle that life is in your control, and if you want to experience a certain type of outcome and a certain type of future, you must input the necessary labor today. Don't let life pass you by. If you can dream it, if you can believe it, you can achieve it. It can potentially become yours with the right energy input, the amount of work ethic necessary, and a good attitude. Understand that you have one life. How you live it is your choice, but life will pass you by. You don't want to be the person that wakes up 30, 40, 50 years from now and regrets what they did, regrets who they hung out with, regrets the decisions that they took, the inability to exercise at an early age, the inability to develop a massive quality network or to start that business that you always desired. Don't let life pass you by, because if you do not take life by the horns, life will just continue flowing. You'll either be a byproduct of chance, or you will take life and own it, because you're only as good as the decisions that you make.
One of the most important things you could realize is that you're not alone. You're not the first to go through it. You're not gonna be the last to go through it. And oftentimes it happens. You feel like you're alone, and you feel like it's only you, and you're in your bubble, and I wish I had someone at that time who could just pull me aside and, hey, it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. So I wish I knew that. Just gotta remember, Hold on to that fundamental quality of faith. Have faith. And on the other side of your pain is something good. After about a month and a half of staying in that little apartment and cleaning, I got a phone call from the head coach of the team who cut me, head coach of the Calgary Stampeders. He called me and he said, "Hey, I know we cut you, but I'd like you to come back." I said, "Okay, I appreciate that, coach. Thank you very much. I'll think about it." He said, "Okay, great." I hung up the phone and my dad said, "You're gonna do it, right?" I said, "No, I don't think so. I think I'm done with that." He goes, "What?" I said, "My gut tells me I'm done." He said, "What are you gonna do?" I took a deep breath. I said, "I'd like to get into the business."
If you don't fail, you're not even trying. I'll say it again. If you don't fail, you're not even trying. My wife told me this great expression. To get something you never had, you have to do something you never did. Les Brown's a motivational speaker. He made an analogy about this. He says, imagine you're on your deathbed, and standing around your deathbed are the ghosts representing your unfulfilled potential. The ghost of the ideas you never acted on. The ghost of the talents you didn't use. And they're standing around your bed, angry, disappointed, and upset. They say, we came to you because you could have brought us to life, they say. And now we have to go to the grave together. So I ask you today, how many ghosts are going to be around your bed when your time comes?
The quote and the phrase that I'm using is lock the fuck in. I'm talking to you. Lock the fuck in. We don't have time for any of the bullshit. We don't. Lock the fuck in, chat. You gotta lock in, like, and again, I'm saying this for myself, but I'm sharing it with you guys as you come on this journey with me. It's like, that's all you're gonna hear me say to a lot of people at times. Is like, yo, I don't have time to hear your fucking excuses. Lock the fuck in. We don't have time for all the excuses like, yo, it's okay, you can get rest, you can get this, you can get that. That ass? That's the type of energy you want to be on. I'm not trying to hear that shit. I'm not trying to be baby. And I pray that some of y'all at home are not trying to be baby either. It's time to lock in. Whatever you're doing, lock the fuck in.
You have to build a person that can withstand the pressures of whatever they're going to be dealing with in life. I'm not trying to send a message of run 200 miles, be the baddest motherfucker in the world, but be tough. You better have a part about you that's tough, a part about you that can break down situations and get better. And break down situations very quickly within some trauma in your life, some devastation in your life, because it's gonna come. The devastation, the trauma is gonna come.
The 24-hour you. What would you tomorrow want you today to do? The reason that it's so effective, I think, is it rips you out of the moment and it stops you from relying so heavily on the confused chemical signals coming from your body, and instead it gives you a bit more distance. It depersonalizes the decision. It helps you treat yourself like a friend that you're responsible for helping, in Peterson language. It forces you to optimize for long-term thinking rather than immediate gratification. It reminds you that ultimately decisions aren't being made for you now. They're being made for you in 24 hours, in 24 days, in 24 months.
The work works on you more than you work on it. And so, if you want to be the best in the world at something, you do the work to become the best in the world, and the work works on you. And so, I mean, there's a biblical proverb, I think it says like, there is profit in all labor. And that means that even if the thing that you're working on right now doesn't amount to the outcome that you expected that it would, it doesn't mean that you don't become better through doing it.
There's no luck in this game, and it may be a little bit of luck, but the luck happens after you bust your ass and you put yourself in that lucky situation. Luck doesn't happen. You put yourself in that situation where luck might fucking happen. And that's what people don't know. But to get there, luck ain't gonna happen. You have to put yourself in that situation, man. It takes a lot of work.
Just doing it. Just doing it makes you do more. Like, do more hard shit makes you do more hard shit. Understand that you want it bad, so you're willing to put in the work and do things you don't want to do. It's what makes you have that the confidence that you know how to push through. And the mentality that I'm the type of dude to get shit done. I want to see what you do when you're tired. Let me see how you push yourself. Come on, man. Get up. Get up again tomorrow. Get up again tomorrow. Get up again tomorrow. The next day. Get up, get up, get up, get up. Keep going. The real message is we all started from nowhere. I mean, we all had bullshit jobs. We all felt like losers. But through time and effort, you build a stronger human. You build a stronger body. You build a stronger mind. You build accomplishments and will and momentum. And then you look back and you go, hey man, I'm not washing tables anymore. You know, I'm not washing dishes. I'm not cutting lawns. I'm not digging ditches. You know, I'm a different person now.
The hardest things are usually the best. If it's easy, leave it to somebody else, okay?